So everyone in crypto always talks about institutional adoption and how it's coming. You had an extremely interesting viewpoint here, just given your role at Grayscale. And I think you previewed earlier what the initial conversations were like, where maybe you were laughed out of the room. But share a little bit more about, from your viewpoint, where that adoption is on the cycle, and maybe how long it takes until we see maybe pensions and insurance funds start to hold Bitcoin, or if that ever happens.
Yeah, I think ultimately a lot of the most successful sales that were done at Grayscale and probably even across the industry were certainly over the last couple of years. And some of that adoption did in fact come from pensions and endowments and some of these larger institutional players. I think a lot of it was that one, we were in a low interest rate environment. A lot of trades were starting to get quite crowded. And in some senses, that could be a little scary because that meant that folks were having to go further out on the risk spectrum to find returns. And with not only some of those trades is getting crowded, but also correlations amongst assets getting much more concentrated, folks were looking for diversification. It did resonate very often with folks that, I think it was either Cliff Asness or someone once famously said diversification is like the one free lunch you have in investing. And so for a lot of folks, they were taking a serious look at crypto because it's not like there was some other asset class that was very recently invented and that, had legs that they could actually look into and had resources and the ability to actively get involved in it. But instead, it was crypto. And so was it appropriate and has it been appropriate for everybody? Absolutely not. And we were never the ones running around telling folks, this is for everybody. Everybody needs to invest in this. Crypto is not for the faint of heart. We've talked, today about 80% drawdowns. Like there aren't a lot of asset classes that do that. But for the right investors who can appropriately size their allocations, can stomach that volatility, have long-term time horizons, they have generally achieved better risk-adjusted returns by integrating crypto into their portfolios.